Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Give me 1 second. As you all know, I just got to make sure everything is working on LinkedIn and Instagram. So we're just going to make sure. Okay, that looks good for me. And I think we're great on Instagram. Yeah, we are. We are. Okay. Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining us live. And as you know, we just always try to bring you success stories and bring you the energy and bring you some gems for those who are trying to navigate this industry, whether you're trying to break into your first role or whether you're just trying to transition into a better one. We want to just show you the success stories, give you the mindset, the stories, the journey, and the just all positive vibes from people who have you came through before you and know what it's like to be in a role for those who haven't been in the role yet or those who transitioning just know the mindset that you need to take with you in order to transition into something better. So today we're going to talk about from support to systems engineer, and we got a Lewitt alumni, and this gentleman came through, blazed the trail. He's super happy and super excited to be here. Look, if y'all on right now, if y'all can hear and see us, put the JLs in the chat if you can see this. I want y'all to give it up for Jason Lee. What's up, brother? How are you?
How are you, bud? It's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to share my story, and hoping that I resonate with someone tuning in. And thank you and the team for creating such a solid level up in tech program.
Man, we here. I know, you came through. Look at Shannon showing love. There we go. You came through and just blazed the trail, man. And you did everything you were supposed to do, and you just had that grit. And you didn't give up, and you were successful in transitioning. And we just want to tell your story. Learn a little bit about you, Jason, and the mindset that you came in this thing with. So put the JLs in the chat if y'all can hear and see me, and if you can hear and see Jason well as well. Okay, JL, I see another one. Cool. Great, great. All right. So let's get to the meat and potatoes because people, they're waiting. Describe to us who you were before you decided to make the significant change in your career and becoming a cloud engineer.
Absolutely. So, making a career change is really not new to me. I had a really diverse professional background. I've worked in various industries, including real estate. I was a former real estate agent. I worked in academia, middle school tutor, and elementary teacher assistant. Hospitality, work as a manager at a restaurant, social services, direct care, and psych work. I can keep going. B2B sale, uh, corporate trainer, inside sale as a sales account relationship manager, etc. While I find success in each role, I often felt lack of like a long term vision and goal. So that's why, like, once I got comfortable and got good at what I was doing, I became bored and I moved on to the next thing. And again, all due to the lack of vision and purpose. And you might be wondering, like, how old is this guy? Doing all
You
those.
look pretty young, man. For real, for real. You look
I
pretty
t-
young.
Thank you, sir. But I'm being transparent. I turned 40 this year, so that's why I have the luxury to experience all that.
Man, so you kind of sound like me too. So like when I was coming up, trying to find myself as a young adult, I was doing everything from dishwasher to uh, trying to be a car salesman to um, lot attendant in the car business to I found myself trying to try different entrepreneurial endeavors, right? So while I found my career link in banking at the time, I was also still trying to be write and do music. So I was trying to be a rapper and a singer and trying to tour, try to break records, try to create clothes. So we try to design our own clothing and sell merch. I was a sneaker reseller, so I would buy limited sneakers at retail and resell them for a profit. And I was actually a hat designer. I didn't design this hat. This is a gentleman that's local, but I was creating my own type of hats and just wholesaling them to business across the nation. And one thing that, as far as you labeling everything that you are or were, it just created who you are now. It just like you said, if it was not the thing, it's the thing that's going to lead you to the thing.
Yes, sir.
And all of the experiences I had in banking, dealing with customers, hundreds of customers a day, going through that stress level of just dealing with different types of personalities, from me being in music, performing, selling stuff, learning the business operations inside and out. It just made me who I was to be able to get into tech and be successful at this time. And without those experiences, I think, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking to you. You'd probably be talking to someone else. And I think for those that are watching, whatever experiences you have or have been through, just know that's shaping you for the future and where you want to go. Because if you got a dream right here in the heart and you say, I want to be a cloud engineer more than anything, I've been wanting to get into this industry, everything that you're going through now is just preparing you for what you're going to go through to become that. So please listen to that, y'all. So as you going through your different types of careers and being an entrepreneur and everything, what was the turning point that made you realize like you needed to make a change? On
Yes. So the most recent career profession I was in, I was a former real estate agent during the pandemic, before the pandemic, and during the pandemic. So I got really good at helping people buy and sell their house.
Mm,
I learned the importance, of working on the business and on the business and in the business. So as an agent, it was a responsibility for knowing how to run all aspect of it, and that's so. Um, I did have a little bit of introduction in tech because when I was uh, leveraging technology in my real estate business, I learned how to use Zapier to connect my Facebook real estate business account, like
mm,
the ad, the CRM, the real estate landing page. So when someone visit my page, it automatically alert me on my system in the phone that potential client had visited the page. So as an agent, it's all about the timing. So I dropped everything I was doing and follow up right away with the potential client. So providing a great service. So the automation technology tool that was first exposed, like, oh, I was able to deploy that in my real estate business. I can learn that. This is fun. So that's like where the seed was in terms of technology, how I kind of pivot to that field. So that kind of like was the seed initially was planted. Um,
nice, nice. I think we all have our own story of being exposed to tech. And some people right now are using technology that they don't even know that's being used in our industry as well. So they sitting here and they thinking like, oh man, I have no tech experience. But the whole time while they're sitting at their desk, they're using some tools and services that we may use already, and it's
mhm,
considered transferable skills. I remember when I was running my sneaker resale business, we were using AWS for servers, and while we was working with what we call sneaker bot developers that would develop bots to act as humans to be able to cart the sneakers and check out quicker than a human can if we were waiting on limited releases on sites like Foot Locker or Nike. And that was my first taste of tech. I didn't realize I was being techie, and I didn't realize I was being cloud engineerish at that time. And I thought AWS was called Oz. So I was like, yeah, yeah,
mhm.
we use this thing called Oz, and we I log into this computer and I download my bot there and I use my bot there.
Very
But
cool.
full circle, when I'm trying to get into AWS and learn it, I was like, oh wow, I was already doing it. That's crazy. So for those of you that's listening, that could be your story now. You are using tech tools that we use in the industry. So whether you construction, whether you are in a restaurant business, whatever, every company is a tech company. They have to use tech and rely on tech to even function and make money. So just don't, sit there and tell yourself you have no technical experience when you actually do. You just don't know it. So through all of that, Jason, how did you find out about Lewitt? How did you find out about Level Up in Tech?
Yeah, so going back to the turning point, like what was the true turning point for me to realize to make that career change yet again? So while I was an agent, I also had the opportunity to work at a restaurant.
Mm,
So my family are all in the entrepreneurial spirit, so they run a very successful restaurant. So and we I grew up working at a restaurant before, so I was offered the opportunity to own one, knowing that it's my future is secure. But there's really no such thing as but knowing that I know how to run a hospitality business, and it's pretty predictable, meaning like it was not the calling that I want to invest, and it was just not fulfilling.
mm,
And so another really true turning point in my life was when my dad passed away
mm,
on April 23rd, 2022, and I was also doing real estate at the same time. And despite the downturn of a real estate market, I still kind of leverage the technology to adapt to the virtual showing, working remotely. And but um but again, when my dad really got sick, so I from April 20 21st to April uh, 22, I kind of put that on hold, and really was trying to be there for him. But it was the turning point again. It was really when my dad passed away. That year, it really put life in perspective for me, and so that's why that where my big why. Um,
mm,
that's where I found the big why. But in terms of the big why, I really have to give glory to God that as his physical health declined, but his faith in Christ have grew. So leading the day of his passing, so I started to see life differently. And again, that was like the true personal and professional turning point in my life that I want to live for Christ. My faith grew.
mm. So with that, did you have the idea at that time, like, hey, I don't want to do, even though this is secure as far as
Mhm.
restaurant business, I don't want to do this. I want something challenging, and tech is the way. But
Yeah.
what led you to tech as far as I want to be a cloud engineer, and and then what made you say, or what brought you to level up in tech? Like, hey, this is where I want to be.
Yes. Shout out to my dear friend, Yvette. She's been a dear friend of mine for 20 plus years, and I told her about my story where I've worked in so many different fields, and to be honest, I was lost. Like I don't know what the next thing I should do in terms of
Mm,
career. And so that was, God put the right people in the right time back in my life. And she said that, have you looked into tech? Because she's been in the technology industry for 10 plus years. And then that's when she suggested, like, have you looked into tech? And I know that you get bored with certain jobs very easily, but you can always pivot within tech industry.
right.
So she did share. She was really passionate about level up in tech, and again, I didn't know anything about cloud computing. I never heard of AWS, and but the more I looked into it, it's really sparked my interest. So and when I am really interested in something, I start to dive in and deep into it. And so before, like I started the Level Up in Tech program back in January 3rd, 2023.
Yep.
I started looking to AWS Cloud Practitioner certification just to, even though like our program does not require me to obtain it, but it was really interesting. So I just want to get like a head start and build that foundation before the program start. Like I'm not competing with anybody. It was more something that I'm genuinely interested in and kind of build that foundation before the program started.
So it seemed like, once you, like you said, you get an interest and you see the vision, right?
Hmm.
You see where it can go, you just take off. So did you have any like doubts or fears about
Oh,
doing this? So tell us about that. You're like, oh yeah, I did.
Oh, absolutely. Imposter syndrome. I mean, I did have a 4-year degree in accounting, but not computer science related. And but yeah, the imposter syndrome was real. Like I've never
Mm,
done that before. But the more I researched it, like okay, automation, that's some kind of sparked my interest, tying back to the 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 first uh, tech tool that I use. Like okay, I'm interested in that. I think I can do this. So, but it's also with the the community that makes a difference for sure.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So, all right, we decided we're going to take this cloud journey, and we decided that we're going to uh, join Level Up in Tech, regardless of what we were feeling. You just had the interest, and you knew this could be something big for you
Mhm.
because it was just so fun and sparked your interest. So, while you going through your journey, right? Can you share a specific moment during your journey that stands out where it was a major breakthrough or a turning point for you, and where you like, I got it, I'm rolling, I know, and I'm going to the moon with this.
So that stand out. There's a lot of different times where it has like that major breakthrough point. First was doing my tech project, and I've never done anything like a technical project before, and it was Apache web server using Ubuntu, and when we first started, I love the curriculum. It's so structured, so that's why I was able to follow along, and we had the weekly coaching calls, so I was able to learn this to learn and able to apply it, use doing those projects. So it was the first project that I've done, and after many trials and errors, seeing having default Apache page display, like working from the back end of it, like whoa, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
And what's also encouraging was I have to get a shout out to Bryant, Coach Bryant Richard. And when I share that first project, he encouraged me to take a little step further. Like okay, how about you make a customized page? And I've never done it. So I took the time and really research. And what's also about this program is that the coach doesn't give me the answer. It gives me the tools and the resources, but I have to research and through a lot of trials and errors. And I finally got the customized page display, and like that was uh, like a hot moment for my first project.
For
And
sure. Always feel good.
along with other certifications, um, yeah, so there's a lot of major breakthrough, but that was the first taste of it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's always exciting when you be able to fix something or build something and get it right, just from your own, you know, curiosity and researching and trying to put it together and solve the problem. Because that's the thing about tech, y'all. This is one thing I want y'all to get. And I say this all the time. You probably hear me say this in all the videos. Tech isn't about knowing the answer all the time, it's about finding the answer. And if you're a problem solver and you can say, okay, well, I'm going to use my process of what I learned, how to research or how to figure out what this tool does and just kind of figure out how I can use this, then you'll be a-okay. If you're a person that wants somebody to give you the answer and just give you direction to be an order taker all the time, that's fine for a little bit, but eventually you're going to have to be able to stand on your own to be able to solve those problems. Because if they're going to pay you high dollar, excuse me, if they're going to pay you high dollar, right? They're not going to pay you high dollar and then tell you exactly what to do and then hold your hand doing it. That's just not how it's going to work. So, I'm gonna put this question up real quick, and just want to make sure I acknowledge this. Someone said, "Were you able to leverage your experience in accounting at all?" And I guess we'll get to that. As far as your transformation. So we're gonna park that. Thank you, LinkedIn user, whoever that was. I appreciate y'all. But so when times got tough, right? How did you stay motivated and focused?
That's a really good question. One, is the supportive community within Level Up in Tech, the team, and other cohorts that just having that um, yeah, collaborative culture. I my vision is my sort as I always had a short-term vision. If I know what I need to go after, I go all in. So my vision at the time with Level Up in Tech, and when things did got tough, I did want to see it through the program, and also there was financial investment, and I want to bear fruit from it as well.
Right.
But
Yeah.
prayer was a lot. But there really is a community collaborative culture. I do like to bring people together to foster like authentic work relationship on a project. So initially, when we started the program, uh, I've learned that we have a lot of people that pivoting from a non-technical background
Hmm.
uh, in our team. So I know that we have our teams for communications, with the coaches, but I see opportunity where okay, how about create a WhatsApp team specifically for with for our group so that we
Yeah.
can
You were the leader of that.
it's the goal is to really create a collaborative environment where it's feel comfortable and encourage one another. So what kind of kept me motivated, just to be honest with you, I started it and I want to deep down I didn't want to look bad if I quit the program.
No, yo, listen. That's sometimes that's all you need, right? You want to get the investment, the return on the investment back, and but what I think that sparked for you because we noticed it. You were like, hey, I know we just had our meeting, but anybody want to meet up afterwards? We can. And you were just leading these meetings, and everybody was just being collaborative, working on things. And even after your graduation, you was doing it in career and development as well. So, like, but that's the initiative that you can take to just push yourself out of a comfort zone to now for let's say for instance if someone brings a person on a team and say hey Jason we want you to mentor that person you will probably feel more comfortable doing it because you was pushing yourself through a process to be able to just be that leader that people could come to and that's just puts you on a whole nother playing field, man, whole nother level. Because now, anywhere you go, or even, building your own thing, you're considered a leader from people that you already mentored through different sessions in the program as well. People you created those relationships. And big ups to you, man, because it takes a lot of guts to just come from a non-technical background like that and just have that spirit of like, hey, we're gonna get through this because I'm gonna get mine. So I'm gonna make sure you get yours, It's like,
It really was mutual. We
yeah,
push one another, and despite life happens, challenges happens, and we set up time to study for certification, but also certification is one thing, showcasing our knowledge of the topics, but it's when we're doing project, we
yeah,
have to obviously do our research first, and then do our part first, and then when we really got stuck, then we reach out to each other
yeah.
and having that platform. So it's just such a collaborative environment, and really the team does make a difference. And if I were not in the program, I would quit a long time ago, to be honest.
No, no, man, I understand, bro, because sometimes the motivation is temporary,
Hmm.
right? And then when you get through roadblocks and you go through frustrations and imposter syndrome start telling you different things about yourself that are not true, sometimes we tend to believe it. And sometimes we're like, you know what? This may not be for me. Well, the whole time, and this is something I say a lot as well. So my goal is to just keep reminding y'all about these gems. The thing that frustrates you now, and the thing that you're banging your head against the wall and just having anxiety about, and you think that you're not supposed to go through, is actually the thing that's building you to become the cloud engineer. So all the problems that you face, any errors, if you're working on something, if you're doing a tutorial, you're like, oh man, it didn't work that way that they said it worked. I'm still trying to. It's the process of you becoming a cloud engineer, and it's totally. normal. The thing that you need to do is put yourself in a position where you can surround yourself with folks, whether in the community, whether on the Discord, get your mentor or whoever, where you can bounce questions off of. And you can, because if you're working on something, let's say you've been working on this the whole day, what can happen is you will reach out to someone and they can help you in 5 minutes. And even then, you'll be like, see, I knew this wasn't for me because it took them 5 minutes and it took me a whole day. That is the process. That's just what it is. And you got to embrace it and understand during this journey, it'll never go away because as you continue to learn more and more and more, you're going to run into roadblocks that you never had ran into before. And it's going to frustrate you. So just you're just building your tolerance up with it right now. Yep. So now we got through the program, and once again, you've been a tremendous leader. You blazed your own trail through this thing, man. Who are you now, both professionally and personally, compared to who you were before? Um, Even thinking about going down this journey.
That's a really good question. I pray more now, and I
Mm,
have my faith grew. So that's first and foremost very important to me. But I believe in myself more. Like if having a long term vision, that's something that I truly believe in. That's obviously I have to put in the work. I think I think I'm going to be okay.
yeah, man, that's the mindset you got to have. It's all about changing the mindset. That's really it, and just moving forward and understanding. Me personally, if I didn't go through the journey I went through, then I wouldn't be able to lead other people through it, right? And I wouldn't be able to continue to understand what's going on with me, to be able to reach in my toolbox to know, hey, this is what's going on, and this is the things I need to do to maybe calm myself down. Because sometimes, I mean, just being straight up with y'all, I have anxiety sometimes. Everyone has anxiety sometimes. Like even the biggest CEOs in the country or the world, we have imposter syndrome. They have anxiety. So it's all about what do you do or what have you learned about yourself when you getting in positions like this, when you're learning something new, you're tackling roadblocks, you're feeling frustrated. What do you do to calm yourself down and push yourself forward? And these things, these steps that you do can help you become a better person and just weather the storm for when it comes to next time you're like, oh, I know I got like this last time, but let me go through my process now to make sure I push myself forward in a better way and not burn myself out. And that's really all it's about. Just making sure you get better every single day. It's not a competition. Like Jason said, he wasn't competing with anyone. It was just more so he was trying to get better every single day. And I think that's the journey of it. That's the beauty. Can you tell us a little bit about the role that you landed and the company and what were you doing for the time you were there?
Yes, absolutely. And after graduating from the program, again, I have to give credit where credit's due. Going back to the some tough challenges, but I have to give credit for the coaches. There were many times that I was experiencing some tough time, but just having that one-on-one coaching call within Lewitt, and it really kind of it was also a breakthrough moment for me. So it was just that supportive um, team that I was surrounding myself with. So as far as my role after graduating from Level Up in Tech, it was one of the most challenging academically program that I've ever attended because it's such a fast paced. I believe it was 6 months,
Mm,
and
yep.
there's a lot of things that I have to learn. Time and commitment was the biggest obstacle, and learning to say no to many things. So I'm glad that I was able to see the program through. Another challenge it was after graduating is finding the next role. So it was a process. It was a lot of process, but Level Up in Tech does provide a career development page, the career development where coaches help with resume writing, interviewing prep, and it was an ongoing support. So that really was helpful in that search for the next role. And so how I landed my previous role was as a system engineer. I have to be transparent with my journey now. Is that I reach out to the company, and when I researched it, it resonated with me in terms of the company culture. And at the time, the company didn't have a like an entry level role, but I still feel so compelled to reach out and being transparent. Like, okay, I completed the level up in tech program, and this is what I can, my portfolio, and surprisingly, I was able to get a meeting with the recruiter, and one thing lead to another. I was met with the hiring manager, and and the next one was fly on site, and was hired on the spot. So where I used to live was in Rhode Island, and I took the the risk and to move from Rhode Island to Tennessee.
Mm.
So what that role is system engineering. So uh, yeah, so that's how found that opportunity.
So what I'm hearing you say, just and I want to drop a gem on people as well, is you were relentless in reaching out and networking and introducing yourself.
Hmm.
So what the process is here is a lot of people just apply to roles and don't reach out to anyone within that company. And then if they don't get a call back or, they get a rejection letter, they're like, oh man, see, I just, I'm not good enough. And that could be frustrating because, especially if you get a lot of rejections or you don't get a lot of callbacks. But one thing that Jason did differently is he reached out. He was so passionate about working for that company that he reached out to continuously introduce himself. And guess what? They landed him a meeting with the recruiter. So he prepped and wowed the recruiter. And they landed him another meeting and he prepped and wowed them. And then they landed him an on site meeting where he prepped for that. And I remember you was talking about that as well. And you went in there and wowed them and they hired him on the spot. Some of you are in that position right now where you've already done the work, right? So we've done the work and we think that is all. But what you got to realize is it's more work to be done because now you have to sell yourself. Now you have to market yourself. Now you have this business because you are a business. You have this services that you built which are your skills. How are companies are going to find out about you? And what we normally do is just think from a business standpoint, we're going to send a flyer. Oh, I'm going to print 1,000 flyers and I'm going to send them out in the mail. And hopefully people will look at the flyer when they get it in the mail and don't toss it because it doesn't catch their attention. By blindly applying, we're doing the same thing. We're applying to jobs thinking that our resume could be good enough to catch someone's attention for over the hundreds or even thousands of resumes that they have, and we're not even knocking on the door or giving them a call to introduce ourselves. So I'm giving you a little entrepreneurship spirit now for those of you who are on the journey of looking for their first gig. You have to introduce yourself. You have to reach out, right? You can't accept no for an answer because even if no is a no now, it could be a yes tomorrow, right? They could just be waiting for to see a project for you from you, or they could be waiting for another role to come down the pipeline because you impressed them so much that they say, hey, Jason, we just had this cross our desk. We're hiring for this. We want to talk to you. So always keep that hunger where you're going to reach out, you're going to introduce yourself, and you're going to continue to share what you're doing because once again, we're not just going to send flyers out in the mail and just hope somebody bites. That's what we're doing when we just apply and don't reach out. We're going to reach out and introduce ourselves so they know who we are. So keep that, write that down if y'all haven't, and make sure you rewatch this video for that gem alone because that can help really differentiate you from the competition. So, couple of questions I got for you, man. Looking back, what advice would you give your former self?
That's a good question. What advice? could I give my former self is to focus on your own journey. Everyone has their own journey, and especially being on LinkedIn, there's a lot of noises. But just seek advice that align with your um, purpose, and just have putting the work, and and going back to earlier with my role is that I did took the risk, and I have to be upfront about it. Is that I did resigned from the role after a couple months, knowing that it's not the best for me right now, and the company was very gracious that they want to, because I want to be a part of uh, potentially pivot to another team or another um, department. But at the time, I just didn't see a good fit. So it's a tough decision for me, but it's the best. But uh, there's nothing lost in the process of it all, because I really start jumping. Even if that's not the thing, it will lead me to the thing. So that's where that 2 month experience really gave me um, a longer vision, like a vision for the long haul. So that's why I am more convicted to do something that it's in the work that I have. I continue to pray for guidance. I don't see the whole staircase, but I just trust in the process each step of the way, and just with the right team, and just having that faith in action. So 3 C's. If anybody can walk away from this talk, is really the 3 C's. Having that conviction, just being consistent, and be courageous.
Mm. So I like that. And if you don't mind me, hopefully you don't get mad at me for saying this, but what he's failing to tell y'all too is he he has the vision of he's going to do something on his own. So he's building something. He has this vision that he's like, you know what? I I, I'm always had that entrepreneurial spirit, and I know working for someone is fine, but now I think, after being in this and me having a vision, I want to build something on my own and build my own team. So that's what he hasn't shared with y'all. Hopefully, he won't get mad at me for sharing
Not at
that with
all.
y'all,
Not at
right?
all.
So he's going to bat for himself, and I definitely wish you the best in that, man, because this industry is wide open for people who are ready to solve problems. And the problem that you're going to solve, I know it's going to be amazing. God is going to bless you with all the resources and tools you need to get this up and running and make a huge impact on the world, brother. So I was going to ask you, what would you tell someone who's watching right now that's pretty unsure about taking the next step? But I think you really covered it, and you really gave them the 3 C's that they need, right? You have to be confident, you have to be consistent, and really you have to be committed to what you're doing. You have to say, you know what? If I want to build the skills to make a six-figure career, then I have to do what I need to do to build that career. I have to change myself, and I have to learn what I don't know. Because the reality of it is, when you're just starting, or you don't know where to go, or you don't know what to do, you just don't know anything. So you need to be in the presence, or you need to connect with people and link with people who are doing the things that you want to do, who are put in position to help you and guide you. And you got to be willing to invest that time, some finances, some sacrifices away from family sometimes, in the short term, for a long term gain. I promise you. So if someone said, hey, in the next year, if you put in this work, you can double your salary, then we have to think logically like, okay, well, that's a year worth of work. That's a lot of work. But some people would say, but then you got to really get logical with it and say, well, I go to work every day and work my butt off for this company. So in the next year, if I continue to do what I'm doing at my 9 to 5, would I double my salary with them? Probably not. They probably give you 3 to 5%. And that's the reality of it. So logically, you got to make it make sense for you. And then you have to do the work. And if you don't quit, you'll have the return on investment. Um, Man, I definitely appreciate you coming out and just sharing your story, brother. I think it's
It's my
amazing,
pleasure.
your background and then the challenges you came through, and this is what pushed you into another level. And then what you said, even when you landed your first role, you're like, hey, I think I want more. I think I want to be connected to something bigger. And I think, only I can build what I want to be connected with and share it with the world. And I think it takes a lot of guts in this industry to do that, man. So kudos to you, man. Get a man a hand clap in the chat, man, for real. Cause while we sitting there nervous about our first roles, this man just said, look, I'm building my company. I got the entrepreneur spirit for my family, and this is what I meant to do. And I've learned the skills, and I'm gonna take it to the next level, man. So once again, Jason, thank you so much. And I want to really invite anyone who's serious about getting into cloud engineering. Our goal is to help you learn cloud, land a job, and make money. And what we have is a new community called the Cloud Career Accelerator, free starter courses, free projects. We got plenty of content. I do weekly live calls. You just missed one yesterday. Join that group, join the community, and let's network with people that are just like you. And just take your time with it. If you're just a person who's just trying to learn what cloud is, how much can you make, what jobs can you get, come to the community. We got a course on that. If you're a person who's just trying to learn the foundations of what cloud is, come to the group. If you're a person that say, I just want to try my hands at some projects and see what I can do, come to the community. Okay. So with that being said, Jason, once again, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and talking about your story and letting us know, all the important things that help you through your journey. And I hope you all taking some notes and taking some gems away from it. Let's continue to level up. Let's start today. If you've been thinking about it, reach out to me if you have any questions. Put Lewitt in the chat if you want me to reach out to you to see how we can, guide you and put you on the right path. But until next time, just keep moving, keep being consistent, keep being committed, and everything will work out and you will get your return on investment and you will always be successful if you don't quit. So I love y'all. Thank you so much, Jason. Once again, thank
Thank
y'all for
you.
watching. Thank you, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you, LinkedIn. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, brothers.